Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our third of 4 best of ones for they coming up in the Starladder American preliminaries. We've got PSST versus Osiris Gaming. Should be a good one, Merlini. I'm excited.
Yeah, I know a lot of these players personally. It's a
look at
North
you.
American grudge match. Not a grudge match, but
Grudge match.
a fun match.
Two North American teams, both repping the USA flag. Should be interesting. I'm excited to see some of these play styles. Any thoughts before we get into the draft about these players or this particular matchup? Something to keep an eye out for?
We can just go and draft.
No, just
we can
hop
talk
into
about we can talk about them as we look at the draft.
All right, you got it, buddy. So this was actually a first pick Naga Siren from Osiris Gaming. Timbersaw Shadow Demon obviously grabbed by PSST, and then they went with the Nature's Prophet. But the first pick Naga, that makes me wonder. Is
The
this
split
a
push. Pat Soul is the
Radiance?
carry player on Osiris. And he likes his Naga.
It is Radiant as well, which is the side that makes that strategy a bit more viable. The solo mid, Radiant's first Naga.
It's slightly better, I'd say. I mean, you can do it on both sides. Actually, I think his Naga Siren is actually not as strong as many of the other Naga Sirens that I've seen in competitive. So I'm not actually like super scared of it if I'm PSST right now.
Right.
Sorcery, also known as Last Hit Magic. That's who the team is named after.
Mhm.
Osiris is OS. They're orange player or brown, whatever. Brown, no,
Right.
orange.
Orange, yes. Radiant. Radiant is on bottom. Yeah.
I don't like how that's the case.
It's back. I think it's backwards. I don't
Yeah,
like it.
I don't like it.
It took me it's like I have to. It's a memorization thing. Logically,
I still get it wrong.
Yeah. It's the colors. I know, like the dark side, the like the red, like oh.
I mean, it's the scoreboard is Radiant on top. When you join
Yeah.
a game lobby in Dota 1, it's on top too.
It's probably because like if you look at the map, Radiant is bottom left corner, so that's like closer. It's like if you were to split the map in half, it's like.
I guess,
you
but then
know.
they should have the scoreboard other way too. Then
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I agree.
I don't know.
Consistency.
Consistency is key.
Well, I have to say, Dota is a game not known for its consistency
Yeah,
across
this is true.
mechanics and such. So-
Goody and Relic had a pretty good run at MLG. Goody was actually unable to attend the full sale because he's from South America.
Oh.
Finneth, Last Hit Magic. They were on a team with Eosin before. Both pretty good players. Knave was also on a team with MLG, but I forget which one. He's probably the weakest of the 5-2, but still pretty strong.
Okay.
And on Osiris, Pat Soul carry player, Classic, and Guanzo and Willows are like the space creators and like farm and like the 2 through 3 role.
Mhm.
I'm not actually sure who's going to support because they all rotate, but they're pretty flexible.
And I suppose it's worth mentioning while we're looking at this draft, our last game of the day is going to be Team Dog, which is that new team
Mhm.
with Demon. And
Demon, Pycat, Misery, Fogged, and Demon, Pycat, Misery, Fogged, and Mason.
Mason, that's it. Look at you with that memory.
That
Yeah.
team's pretty good though.
Oh, yeah.
I would
It's going to be exciting.
say it's who are they playing?
IX Mike's team.
Oh, well, Woodchuckers.
WD, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever they're tagged up
Their
as.
their team's not bad, but I think that Team Dog's just much better.
Just a little teaser there for those of you looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how that team fares. Let's talk about this draft a little bit. PSST grabbed themselves Puck, third pick, so a pretty straightforward-looking draft thus far. Puck mid, support Shadow Demon, and probably your off-lane Timbersaw. We'll see what they want to grab with their fourth pick here. Now, is there a chance? Well, what do you say the chances are this is actually just a support Naga Siren that they first picked? Just
Doubt it.
for good
I
measure.
don't think so.
No, definitely.
Pat Soul plays
farming.
as carry Naga Siren.
Okay, so we're looking at an off-lane Nature's Prophet. We've got the support Earthshaker. Let me ask you about Earthshaker. That's a good hero to tackle. What do you think about him right now?
If you look at the draft and the way the game is developing as is, Osiris is going for a very greedy draft with a split push, trying to delay the game. Earthshaker's a really good hero at doing that with his fissures. And PSST, they're trying to get them away from the greedy strats, which they ban most of the greedy heroes, the heroes that scale well with farm, the heroes that can play very, very greedily. Enigma, one of the greediest supports. Shadow Fiend and Zoom, they're greedy if left alone. And Invoker can also like play Midas and go pretty greedy too. So they're looking to put the pressure on Osiris, going very aggressive heroes. Shadow Demon with probably an aggressive support. Puck, very aggressive hero too. Timber can get a lot of kills once he's 6. And Gyrocopter, one of the most aggressive carries in the game. So you can see their game plans already at the start. PSST, all out kill them early. Try and take down a couple of towers early, and Osiris try and delay the game, get Naga huge, and win the late game.
Right, and Ancient Apparition does assist in that as well. Both Earthshaker and Ancient Apparition are very difficult supports to push into.
Yep.
Good at defending, but
They're difficult sports to play though too.
That's very true. Ancient Apparition in particular, he is. No, that's not fair. They're both really high skill cap heroes.
Earthshaker is definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna
higher,
say. After I said it, I was like, any ability that can ruin your own team, like that fissure, if you put it a little bit off, trap your allies. It's tricky business. But I was just sort of scoffing at the Zeus final ban. That's really shout out to Merlini there from PSST. You're wearing the Zeus shirt today.
I know. I don't know why they banned it. They don't need to. They're scared of heroes that are good at teamfight and good at delaying, like a Tinker or something. Oh my god, that would be a nightmare for PSSD. So they usually, I'm pretty sure they'll run Naga safe lane, Earthshaker, AA babysit, Nature's Prophet off, so the solo mid is last. So I guess Zeus works in that solo mid role, but like a Tinker I would be pretty scared of. I guess if you have a Nyx, it's not as bad too, but it's just, it's most likely going to be very passive. I would be surprised if I saw more than 5 kills in like 10 minutes.
Right.
10 kills in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. Zeus just interesting.
This might be like a somewhat a strategy that we saw the team run last game. It's like, okay, we're gonna die, but we're gonna get something out of it.
Yeah.
The brute force feed.
Sacrificial lamb strategy.
Yeah.
Nyx Assassin, final pick for PSST. I like the choice here. A hero that works very well against the Rat Dota style of Nature's Prophet.
It fits well into their strategy for sure.
Yeah. So I think it's a smart choice here. I'm very curious how Osiris what they're gonna do with this last pick, because they have flexibility. They could put Naga in the one position with the 2 supports, or they could put Naga solo mid. So they have a couple.
I think Puck would work really well for them. He's like good at ganking and delaying, and he's the team fight that they need.
The hero that PSST have?
Yeah. It would have worked well for them.
Oh, I see. Like if they could have gotten Puck, it would have.
If they could have gotten Puck, it would have been really good for them. But instead, they're gonna have to go for a second rate mid, which is.
Is that really how you feel about Dragon Knight's second tier?
Second rate for their strategy, yes.
Okay.
They need a
He's
hero.
Sensitive, man.
They need a hero that can fight and that can do well without items, because Naga's going to be getting a lot of the farm, and that can also do very well in team fight, because they really lack team fight now, and especially at initiate. So like Puck would have been just perfect for the strat.
Yeah. Or
Tinker if Nyx wasn't picked, but Nyx kind of screws him.
Yeah. Still don't see too much Tinker these days. I like the Tinker. I say that lightly.
I like seeing him after 25 minutes.
Yes, I like Tinker when he's not just sitting in the base spamming March of Machine saying, you're not going to be able to push, just give up. I hate that strategy, man.
It wins games.
It wins games.
I won a game like that yesterday.
Oh, well, look at you, man.
I'm a Tinker turtler. Okay.
I'm a Tinker turtler, guys. Shots fired.
It's a legit strat, man.
It's legit.
If it wins games, I will use it.
Hey, there's nothing. I've nothing against it other than it just can be boring to watch.
It's super boring. So was Naga with Radiance.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It also wins games.
It's at least a little more exciting. It's fun to admire.
See, these teams are already much more aggressive than the teams that we saw last game. Like last game, Earth Spirit or a solo off lane. Elder Titan was able to drop a ward, and if they went for that this game, like there's no way that's happening, like in the same place. So you can already tell that these 2 teams are a step above the teams that we just saw.
All right, and we'll see how this potential aggression ends up playing out. All 5 of PSST are grouped up here. They've already put their ward down, and again, I can't draw on the map, but there she blows. And Osiris, let's see, what is their sentry setup? All right, it's Earthshaker. I was gonna call him Earth Spirit. It's Earthshaker.
It was funny. I was playing pub once, and the guy was like, "Pick me ES," and then he picked Earthshaker, and the guy's like, "What the fuck? I meant Earth Spirit. Come on!" And then the guy's like, "Well, you said ES. You didn't specify," and he was really angry.
I mean, that's a fair enough. I can't be too mad about the drafter.
I don't know why that guy was so angry. Yeah. Oh no, it was all pick. He was gonna swap.
Oh.
So I don't exactly remember what happened, but I remember the guy was livid. I was like, that's a legit mistake.
Some people were just angry. Somebody got really mad that I went Lincoln's first on Weaver the other day. I don't know how that's something you can be mad about. That's so standard. He wanted me to get Desolator first, and man, he was just
first is tough against most lineups.
He was so mean about it, though. It's like, dude,
people are mean about everything.
We ended up winning.
You would get Radiance on Naga? What?
Are you an idiot? Stop it! Oh, you're not Arteezy. Like, all right, I know, but I can still do it.
So they already scouted out some. They know that they're gonna be putting on some aggression, probably very early on. They need to limit Naga's farm. The more they limit Naga's farm, the better this game will go for PSST. So that's what most of their early and mid-game effort should be focused on. Once she gets Radiance, it's kind of a lost cause because she's just going to push out every lane and you're not going to be able to gank her.
Right.
So they need to step on that now.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. They have a good lineup to do it, and if they can shut that Naga down, it's a very risky strategy going for the Radiance first because you just have nothing. There's that window where you've got like 2,800 gold in the bank, you've got boots, and that's it.
I like seeing these type of games. This is a very classic. Can you kill their carry before he gets too big? And the pressure is on PSST. They have the early game lineup, they have the mid game fighting, they have the AoE, they have everything that they need to do it, but can they actually execute? This is the game I like. It's a even draft, I'd say, and it's all going to come down to can the aggressor actually execute their can they get kills? Can they keep Naga Siren down?
Right. So in this tri-lane scenario, Ancient Apparition actually opting for Cold Feet, level 1.
Look at Pat Soul. He got Ensnare first, too.
Yeah,
this is very unusual. Most of the time, you'll see Chilling Touch at level 1 and Riptide at level 1.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised on both sides of the fence. Let's see, what did their Earthshaker get? Did he? Okay, good. He got Fissure. That one's a little more predictable.
Aftershock level 1.
You never know, man. That's you never know.
The thing about it is that PSST, they're in a try-on-try situation. Yeah, their try's winning right now, but if they ever misstep, Furion's going to TP in and crush them. So they have to be very careful about how they get their kills. They need to get it fast and without taking too much damage. Right now, though, they're doing a very good job of keeping Naga Siren under farm. She only has 2 last hits right now. She is level 2 right now, so they actually gave her solo experience, too, for a little bit so that she can get her Riptide ASAP in case they do push the aggression. Because Earthshaker level 2, his Aftershock is not going to mean anything, whereas Riptide is going to be a lot of damage, so is Chilling Touch. So Osiris, they have a very good game plan at the start, too.
Yeah. No shield on the Naga, though, and against the double range, they could potentially start to harass him down, though they haven't really been too eager on that front. Take a look at the mid lane, though. It is Puck versus Dragon Knight. Puck off to the races 11-2 against the 5-1 Dragon Knight. So Relic, needless to say, winning this lane handily thus far.
Arteezy Slayer.
Arteezy Slayer. Osiris will grab himself a regeneration. He'll top himself off. No bottle in the inventory quite yet, but still, Puck in good shape. Meanwhile, up top, the Nature's Prophet versus Timbersaw. A pretty even exchange, 10-3 versus 8-1. That's about what we would expect.
Yep.
Pretty even off-lane setup here. So it kind of comes down to this tri-lane to some degree.
To everything. It's all about this tri-lane.
Yeah, I worry about the mid. Like, is this an expected level of disparity, or is Osiris getting kind of outplayed here?
It's about right, I'd say. I mean, I don't think that he should be that high. Maybe like 12 or 13 to the 8, but it's nothing that isn't within the fair realm of standard deviation of Puck versus Dragon Knight matchups.
Standard deviation. Oh,
it's about right. Relic's a really good solo mid, though. He's very good at lane control and CSing.
Yeah. So, a little bit quiet here in the early game. Looking at initial farm, though. Naga, not the breadwinner. 3-2 in last hits and denies. Meanwhile, Gyrocopter 11-6. This Radiance rushing strat not looking so promising for Osiris here, at least out of the gate.
She went Quelling Blade, too, instead of a Stout. Oh,
yep.
Knave, cut out.
Oh, nice. Fissure, there's the Cold Feet. He will use a defensive disruption. Pat Soul pressing forward. He did go a 1-1-1 opener. The illusions will help out quite a bit. The ensnare. In comes the Nature's Prophet for the last hit. And they will secure the first blood. It's not over quite yet. Finnith almost in some trouble as the Sprout comes. Will be able to clear a tree and make it back. So you were exactly right about that Nature's Prophet. If PSST makes one misstep forward, that Furion...
That was a very nice block, though. Like, I did not think that was going to block. He could have eaten 2 trees, too, I think, to get out of it. But he, like, went right because he was trying to right-click back here, and he was unable to do so. I think if he just went straight for the Tango E, he would have been okay. It was a nice disrupt, though. He disrupted, like, as the Kofi was going to proc.
Yeah, that was just about perfectly timed. Another double damage rune will spawn, and this one will go the way of Ancient Apparition here as we pass that 4-minute mark, and he rotates back down to the bottom lane. So not only is that good news for Osiris down here in the bottom, but it's also great news for Nature's Prophet, who gets to go back up top now with phase boots complete, and that will give him a little bit of an edge over this Timbersaw.
Yep, Timbersaw very close to his Arcane, though. He pretty much has it now. In the mid lane, we see the gap close a little bit, 26-9 compared to 18-1. The 4-minute rune has not gone to either of the mid heroes, so not that bad there. Patso almost got initiated on it right there. That would have been really close.
Yeah, that was a close one.
But, I mean, how are they going to kill the Naga, though? Because if they stun, they don't have any follow-up to disable the mirror image. If he mirrors images, that's going to be a flag.
Maybe Patsoul was trying to bait there, perhaps.
Maybe so.
Ancient Apparition had a double damage rune on, so if they engaged...
He didn't have any mana.
Might have had a chance.
How did he get his mana back so fast? Did he TP back?
He's got a magic wand.
Well, like, when I saw him over here, he had, like, 250 HP.
Oh, another Fissure comes out. Oh, the Nature's Prophet ultimate takes some nice bounces, and they finish off Gyro.
This is
Oh,
brutal, though.
boy.
This is getting to be bad because the greedy lineup is already winning in the early game, and a lot of it has to do with Nature's Prophet, and most of it has to do with these very
I think
nice
almost all of it has
figures.
to do with Nature's Prophet.
No,
The
no,
first
no,
blood
the
wouldn't have
fissures.
happened if he didn't come. Okay, the fissures, not all of it, but like that wouldn't have happened right there
Yeah.
without that big Wrath of Nature. That was, I mean, that took like half of Gyrocopter's health down in that one tick. That was just huge.
Yeah, the Nature's Prophet play is just being. I mean, this is why you ban the hero out a lot because he just messes up your tri lane. Everything was going well, and then boom, Nature's Prophet TP's in, Nature's Prophet ultimate, and they get 2 kills.
Why can't people play Nature's Prophet like this in my pub games instead of just
I
going
have no
AFK in
idea,
the jungle?
because, I
This is
mean-
what Nature's Prophet is all about.
Yes, this really is, and I can't play him like that. It's very difficult though because you have to keep an. Oh, Relic gets a haste rune, so this could be the break that PSST needs to exert that aggression.
Well, sitting level 7, has a Dream Coil ready. Osiris will head back to the tower, and he survives. Meanwhile, up top, though, Guanzo in some trouble. He will try and TP out. Dream Coil won't be there in time. And just in the nick of time, though, he does make it back.
Yeah, and he's creating space too. I mean, like this Nature's Prophet player is definitely a water player moment.
Yeah, what a player.
Water player.
How do you feel about the quick magic wand on Dragon Knight mid against Puck? Is that a worthwhile investment?
I don't like it personally.
Yeah,
Because I don't think Puck spams enough spells. His
Yeah,
spells
it's-
are very expensive.
It's not like a Bat Rider or something that's always spamming.
Yeah.
That's sort of an odd choice.
I think it,
and-
like an Invoker might be. I don't know. It's just not. It's not the best.
yeah, it's just it's sort of
I mean, I
atypical,
guess he's gearing up for the mid game fight because he knows that PSSC is going to mid game fight them. So like, I don't know. I would prefer treads though early.
Yeah.
And tread toggling makes your farming a little bit more efficient. Probably like you can get treads and magic wand faster than you can get magic wand treads.
Yes, that's right. That makes sense. So Naga's still struggling in terms of last hits, 9-3 against the 34-10 Gyrocopter. If you look at the net worth, Naga's kind of hanging in there, a little bit below the Dragon Knight because of the kills they've been able to pick up. But Pat Sol is getting
There's a TP
Just
mid though. They're looking for a kill on Relic. If he gets a fissure into a breathe fire, he's dead.
Yeah.
So Relic has to be extremely careful. He's ferrying himself over a salve right now on Chicken, but he has probably a 15-second window to kill him right now.
yeah. And they know the Earth Shaker.
Oh,
is
he
missing.
actually left the salve at base.
Oh,
Oh, wait, is that his self? Yeah, it is his self.
And there's the fissure. There's the breathe fire.
Very
Easy.
nicely played by Classic there. He saw the opportunity and he knew that the 8-minute rune wasn't going to spawn too. So before he got the kill, so very smart play by him.
So, what are your thoughts about how Naga is doing right here? Do they need to? Pull
I
some
don't think it's
rotations?
that.
It's
I don't
not
think it's that
bad?
important.
Okay.
What's more important is that Nature's Prophet and DK are getting big. If they're getting big, they can create space for her in the mid game. She doesn't have to get farm now. She can catch up
Okay.
later, and she can still fight. Naga Siren is not one of those heroes that's useless without items because she's played as a support.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, true.
this
She
is
can still
why
set up with her ult, still use the Riptide for
Right.
minus armor.
still use mirror images to tank a lot of spells and like
Right.
tank flat cannon and get scouting information from opponents too. This is why I like Naga Siren as a carry personally because she's a very flexible hero. Even if you get behind, she's not useless. Like a Faceless Void who's behind, he's pretty useless. Like a PA who's behind, she's pretty useless too. But Naga Siren is behind, she can always switch roles too. Like Dragon Knight can go really hard carry if he's having a really awesome time, go AC Mjolnir and that kind of business. Nature's Prophet can also go carry too. So they have the flex lineup.
Right. And Dragon Knight is sitting level 8 right now. He's got his power treads up, his farm looking pretty solid. He is actually number 2 on the net worth chart now. Number 1 is that Nature's Prophet. He's picked up those kills. And now we'll just transition into a Hand of Midas following those phase boots. Picked up right around the 8.5 minute mark or so. And we'll see him just move into the jungle and sacrifice the off lane. A pretty standard Nature's Prophet rotation. Saving that ultimate, perhaps looking for an opportunity to set up as they did on Gyro last time. Puck rotating from the mid lane will actually burn a solo Dream Coil onto Ancient Apparition. AA will just pour it out. Puck gets the kill though. Oh, a noble
That's
effort.
unfortunate. If you
But-
Magic Stick, he would have gotten away. But that's the thing. You're like, crap, I should have Magic Stick, and you're sitting there for 3 seconds like, man, I messed up.
Yeah.
That happened.
Oh.
Well, I guess technically he would have only had like 1 charge there, but it might have been enough to save him.
Yeah, it was definitely a close call. He had a decent HP buffer left. Relic, though, will get trapped on the tower side of the fissure. Will burn the phase shift.
See ya.
See ya. And again, the Dream Coil was burned for just a support kill. So a kill is a kill, that's for sure, but not the most high profile of kills in the mid. All of this space created by Dragon Knight. Oh, he's trying to finish off the tower. He wanted to do the slick finish it.
TP
port.
cancel.
Canceled the TP, and then it gets denied anyway.
Where's the
Misplays.
illusion usage, man? Come on.
Ooh.
He could have swung that bad boy back in.
Yeah. So a noble effort, but unfortunately Timbersaw does come out ahead in that exchange.
But they're getting towers though.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
important.
Yeah, space created, and that primary access point.
Naga Siren is still very poor, but I like the build she's going for. She's going for a bottle because she needs to be able to fight. They need the damage output from her if they want to win the mid-game engagements. And if she goes too greedy, like a Midas, or just saving up 3,800 gold, she's going to lose because she doesn't have any mana. Lose fight.
Zenith maybe in some trouble here. Disruption comes out, does intercept the fissure damage. But now Nyx Assassin will get turned around on. Nature's Prophet ports down, makes some trees, uses the Sprout to trap in the Gyrocopter, and they grab simultaneous kills on the Nyx as well as the Gyro. A 2-for-0 exchange. Osiris continuing to keep the pressure on
Three-man
this bottom
coil.
try. Whoa, and then there comes the Song of the Siren. Breaks the coil, and the follow-up just won't be there. That's part of the power of the Naga Siren. Ancient Apparition not out of the clear,
No,
though.
Patzel just bounced. He just let the AA out to dry.
See ya. I mean,
Wow.
can you blame him?
Well, he could have stayed there for the song, or he could have told AA, "Hey, walk out, because you need to walk out with me," because he left him blind. He was like right here when AA was over here, so the song wore off on the puck when it lasts for 7 seconds.
Ah, I see. So okay, I see.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean that. Like
Yeah,
he
I was
should
like, should he have suicided for the
no,
ancient
he should have
apparition?
suicided. He could have either stayed behind to song or
I see.
Just
He could have
tell
bought
him.
him a couple more seconds to try and get away. I gotcha. I gotcha. So, well, another nice, well, the first one was okay, but a nice Dream Coil from Puck. Unfortunately, the follow-up isn't there. Only kills on Ancient Apparition, just not the high-profile targets. It's only 5-2, but the difference is that Gyrocopter, the position 1 for PSST, has already been killed twice in exchange for just a couple of support kills. They have the kills where they need them on the side of Osiris.
They need a DK TP in. DK's like the only hero that can like tank this up right now.
Glyph has already been used, and speak of the devil, there's the DK. Fissure splits him up. Last Magic in big trouble. He takes a Dragon Tail, breathe fire to the face, and Osiris himself grabs that kill. Now Guanzo possibly in some trouble. A set of calldowns both connect on the Nature's Prophet, but he buys them enough time. He pays with his life, but sets up the kill on the Shadow Demon. A 1-for-2 as they do hold the tower. And might not be over yet. Puck is invisible.
That was such a sick fissure though. Like Classic has just been having ridiculously good fissures this game.
Yeah. He split that fight in half and
Yeah.
kind of isolated the Shadow Demon. Now Puck is still invisible behind the crew. Does have a Dream Coil available, but not a lot of mana sitting in the pool. Only 1 bottle charge left.
And he can't nab the Earthshaker too, or he couldn't before. But now it's really bad for them because all 4 of them are clumped up.
4-person Dream Coil. There's the rotation. In comes the Timbersaw. They finish off the Earthshaker to start. A lot of low health heroes as they do try and make the great escape. Timber Chain forward does not connect to finish off the Ancient Apparition. Again, they grab a kill on the AA, but after all of that, and oh well, they grab Nature's Prophet as he ports it to the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, that's brutal. I thought they would see Relic have the invis. I think they saw it when he pushed a tower, so I'm surprised that they still stuck around and they clumped up. They got hit by a 3-man Illusory Orb, 4-man Coil, and 3-man Waning Rift too. And if Earthshaker had stayed over here, they would have been okay. But he walked in to join his team.
Yeah. And with that will be the Blink Dagger on Puck, and all of a sudden PSST are right back in it. Looking at that graph, Osiris is up to about a 1,500 gold lead and then dipped back down. Well, now about a 500 lead the way of PSST, so things fluctuating all over the place. Meanwhile, up top, Nyx Assassin possibly in some trouble as he takes an AA ultimate. And no, that's where that little engage will settle down. As
They could have just instant killed him. If they had coordinated a Riptide as well as a Wrath of Nature at the exact same time, he would have just plopped right on the spot. But that's what they were aiming for, I think, but unable to execute it. Yeah, and now Puck has a blink, so now PSST is in a pretty good position.
Yeah,
very good position.
They certainly are. There is only 1 Midas on the field, though, in the inventory of Nature's Prophet. We'll see Guanzo just move into the jungle and try and find some ROI with that golden transmute item. Sitting level 9, and he will be going for a Shadow Blade first. It's kind of a classic Nature's Prophet build. Shadow Blade first, and then probably
it's a
into
Space
a
Creator build.
Space Creator build. Oh, Shadow Demon will take a fissure. The AA ulti going to be
He's
off the mark.
running into them. Classic.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what his plan was there. Oh, the Impale off the mark. That would have been a kill on to the Ancient Apparition. But he does miss.
They're going for Finnith. Finnith is farming the opponent's jungle. OS, is he going to find him? There's an instance that comes out.
And there's the teleport from Nature's Prophet. We'll cut through the trees as the Sprout comes. But Finnith's still in big trouble. Will he survive? The Breathe Fire just short. Oh, wow. The misplays from Osiris. While all that was happening, Puck pressured the top tier 1 tower and did take it out. So that was a feeding Earthshaker in the mid lane, a tier 1 tower kill on the top, and then a missed gank on Gyrocopter. That's a trifecta of win for PSST.
Well, and combine that with the 3-man wipe on bottom.
Yeah.
Too,
that's,
without even getting the tower. Like, that was a turning point.
Yeah.
Of
look at the graph. It was even, and then all of a sudden we've got this huge mountain forming here.
Yeah,
watch out for the earthquakes.
They're trying to play too aggressively when they shouldn't be. Because if Pat Soul were joining them, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Because if they get in a bad position, they Song of the Siren get out. But as it stands, they've been trying to fight and take very aggressive objectives. Like they try to gank over here with the Earthshaker. They try to push his T1, and they're trying to take objectives past the river when they should be playing in a passive position.
Nature's Prophet will get caught with his pants around his ankles, but uh-oh, a Fissure connects with 3. AA ulti comes in, unfortunately just off the mark, and only connects with Shadow Demon. Could have maybe set up some more kills there, but meanwhile in the mid, will Timbersaw make it out? It appears he will.
Another invis rune for Puck too, and they have to. Osiris has to stop or start getting the runes. Yeah, he's 2-0-1 right now, but this Puck has just been doing so much more work in controlling this mid game, and
they want this Naga.
Yeah, score does not really matter.
And they've got some ward coverage down. They see Patzol, Relic looking for the initiation. Timber chain forward. He does have the Dream Coil up, and they will burn it straight away. There's the Song of the Siren.
I thought he was gonna Waning Rift.
Patzol ports out. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. Maybe he just... Well, Waning Rift has a really short cast time. Yeah, I'm surprised.
I think he was trying to be greedy with it, I think. I don't know. They could have killed him, though. They just Orb Silence, and then Chakram will still run even during the silence, too.
Right. Yeah, and, well...
Guanzo?
Hanging in suspense. All right, Earthquake does connect. In comes the Timbersaw. Oh, Nature's Prophet, my friend. Enjoy the bath.
He's so close to his Shadow Blade, too. I think if he bought a Shadow Amulet first, he probably would have had it.
Yeah.
This mid-game's a disaster for Osiris.
Yeah.
Their early game was very, very good. Like the first 8 or 9 minutes, and then T1 push, and then just massive feed everywhere. It could be going a little bit better for PSST, though, to be fair. Relic didn't silence there, miss out on a kill on a very high priority Naga, and now she saved me up for that Relic, 2,700 gold in her inventory.
Yep. Oh, in the mid, they secure a kill onto Puck. I caught the very tail end of it. And,
the dragon tail.
Oh, yeah. So, did you happen to catch that one? I didn't really. What was
the
initiation?
He just stunned from uphill.
Oh, okay. And
they don't have an uphill ward, but it's daytime. Relic was just farming down the river, and he didn't have vision uphill. That's pretty standard.
Yep. And no Dream Coil available to make a great escape.
He just died from.
Yep. So Gyrocopter is going a more kind of greedy build here. Helm of the Dominator and Phase Boots to open it up. Now going to be working towards the BKB. He has not started stacking the Ancients too much, though. There is just a double stack here, some Thunder Lizards, a couple of Dragons, but not that big, meaty stack that he'd be looking to take out at this juncture. He does have Hellbear Smasher here, though, so we'll start to stack it, and that will be a nice boost in his farm once we get in more into the mid-game.
Yeah, Shadowblade on Dragon Knight.
That is good news for Team Osiris. News that they
they needed that. They definitely needed that, though. They need pressure around the map, similar to what Relic's been doing to them, just initiating, finding kills everywhere. Same with Nick Assassin getting the kill on Guanzo on top, and they just have to be able to find kills around the map so that they can create space for Naga. Because if they don't, then they're going to be hunting Naga down.
Yep. And speaking of big item pickups, last hit magic. That's a Bloodstone
out
on the Timbersaw. Pardon me. That's really a good timing.
Casual Cloak, too. Will come in useful later if he wants to transfer that into a pipe against the Radiance Naga.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just not messing with the Naga at all, though.
So do you see any issue with the double Shadow Blade on Osiris? And speak of the devil, the 2 Shadow Blade carriers will press forward, and
that's
they
fine.
will catch Gyrocopter. So I'm going to answer my own question here. It seems to be working quite well as they secure a kill on the carry for PSST.
Shadow Blade's a good space creation item, and it also wastes a lot of PSST's gold because they need to devote their gold into gearing up for late game. They need Sheeps, they need Force Staffs, they need those sort of items. Relic almost gets caught out in mid. But they need those sort of items. If they have to constantly spend their money on Dust and their carries are going to die to the Shadow Blades, then the Shadow Blades already pay for itself right there.
And more aggression from PSST. Nyx Assassin pokes forward. There's a sentry down. They see him. They line up the fissure. Cold Feet comes out.
Oh, the block for the Cold Snap. Oh, it got off. Oh, but it was only level 1 Cold Snap. Cold Feet.
Cold Feet. I was gonna say Cold Snap. Ooh.
Well, he went 1-3-2 build. That's very unusual. Very, very unusual, I must say.
Yeah. I just made that kind of like face, but I mean, why? It's
better for turtling.
Yeah, okay.
It's way better for turtling, which is what their lineup's geared for, right?
Yeah.
It's geared for space creation and turtling.
And the relic is actually out on Naga Siren now, so they have created enough space. 9-9, the gold graph is actually just about zeroed out. Small experience advantage for PSST. That's great news for Osiris. Once Naga gets the Radiance online, that's when things start to get scary for PSST.
It's gonna be really scary for PSST because even if they have the BKB on Gyro, he's just gonna get focused down with Ensnare. So, and if he doesn't BKB, he's just gonna get stunned and focused down anyways.
Right.
So it's very difficult life for a Gyrocopter because he's pretty much all their late game. Like, none of the other heroes transition that well into late game. Timbersaw is like decent, Puck's decent, but at the same time, you really want a huge, big, fat Gyrocopter.
Yeah, this is really much more of a single core strat. I don't think you can put Puck in that same category as Gyrocopter in the late game. I mean, yeah, Puck will have an influence, but
nobody can deal with the Radiance Naga illusions, except for, I guess, slightly Timbersaw and mostly Gyrocopter with the flag.
Yep. So things are slowing down a little bit here as it is tied up 9-9 as we pass that 20-minute mark. Graph still holding steady. No one too interested in Roche quite yet, but Naga now just about 500 gold off that Radiance recipe as the rest of the team continues to turtle up. PSST seem interested in knocking down this last Tier 1 tower for Osiris.
If Earthshaker gets a blink too, it's going to be extremely difficult for PSST because no one's
halfway there too.
Yeah, I mean he's very close, and they don't have any BKB wielders except for Gyrocopter.
Yeah.
Relic with another Invis. He's just been getting Invis runes left, right, and center.
Still got clipped by the Breathe Fire though. That's unfortunate. And there's a dire sentry down. Radiant will throw down a sentry of their own. This creep going to go to town. Oh no, that creep's going ham on this ward.
Wow.
They better kill it quick.
He didn't shift aggro, too. I thought he would shift aggro from the AA attacking him on top.
Dude, that ward, yeah, that creep really wanted that ward. Luckily, the creeps don't do a lot of damage to the wards, but was the misplay. Osiris, though, in the mid lane will take an Impale. I'm getting these confused. It's actually Impale. Earth Spike is the Lion one, even though they're the same spell. That lack of consistency.
Yeah. Well, one's point targeted.
Okay, they're not exactly the same, but...
I don't.
Same graphic.
Well, you could also call Burrow Strike Impale too.
Burrow Strike, yeah. Well, that one's a little. At least he moves with the thing. It's like he's burrowing. Like I get that one, but Earth Spike and Impale.
What about Hex and Voodoo?
Hex and Voodoo.
Yeah.
Is Voodoo the Shadow Shaman Hex?
I believe so.
Yeah. What's Lion's called? Is
Hex.
it just Hex?
Yeah.
So there's Hex and yeah. I'll call them both Hex or Piggy.
Scythe of Ice.
Yeah, Scythe of Ice. What is the actual Hex called on Scythe of Ice? Is it called Hex? The same thing.
I don't know what the tooltip says.
Okay, because there's 3 hexes, and if 2 of them are called Hex and one's called Voodoo, that's weird. that's just chaos.
Shadow Shaman's a weird hero. He's a weird dude.
He is a weird dude. The Rasta. So Pat Soul, level 11, and Radiance, 23-minute mark. Obviously not the fastest Radiance ever, but really not too bad. 23 minutes is pretty solid.
Pretty good.
Yeah, for
considering the tri-lane that he was in.
Yeah, exactly. That's.
I'm actually surprised that Guanzo is going for an Orchid on the Niche Prophet. I think since they're gearing for the late game, they're waiting for a big Naga Siren and then eventually just Death Push or Death Split Push. And I think that an Orchid is much ill-suited, much more ill-suited than a Scythe of Ice because they need a Scythe of Ice to kill BKB heroes. I guess it's very good versus Puck though, and it's an immediate solution. But Puck's going for BKB. So it's not going to be very useful. I guess it's maybe useful for Shadow Demon too. I don't know. I think Scythe of Ice is just much better.
I would agree. I mean, with the Shadow Blade, you have that initiation power, but Sheepstick's just better for that kind of initiation. Like you said, that'll stop a BKB. Orchid, kind of the opposite of that.
Right.
So.
BKB Puck's very uncommon though. I don't remember the last time I've actually seen BKB Puck. Usually to deal with Orchids, people get Yules.
Yules, yeah, okay. Yeah, Orchid? Is Orchid... How do you feel about Orchid right now? I almost feel like there are too many ways to deal with it. You've got Manta, you've got Yules, you've got BKB.
I think Oblivion staff is just weak in general.
Yeah.
Like, those are a lot of stats you don't need. You don't need, like, slight damage, slight attack speed, and then mana regeneration and intel. Those are, like,
it's a weird mix of stats.
It's a weird mix of stats. Yeah. And it's an okay item. I just think it's I just think Oblivion staffs in particular need to be buffed a little bit more.
I
Because
always just feel
refreshers-
like, why not just get a sheep instead of an orchid? In
That's most of the
cases.
time. Well, sometimes you need attack speed,
Right.
which is useful if you're like OD or Silencer, but even those heroes still get Scythe of Ice.
Yeah, maybe they're thinking Nature's Prophet needs to be there as like a secondary carry in case Naga gets...
They don't need it. Naga's
I'm
a
grasping
super
for
hard
straws
carry.
here, man. I don't know. It's,
Oh, the sniper!
Look at that. Nyx Assassin will take a spill, but it will be an uncontested Roche. PSST finish it off. I think they'll be happy to trade their Nyx for a free Roche.
The thing is, they can't really do anything with the Aegis, though. They can't push into a T2, even with the Aegis, because they have to deal with AA Ultimate, they have to deal with a Blink Shaker now, and they have to deal with Naga Radiance Illusions. Those are enough to dissuade any team into pushing into a T2. And a Furion to split push to deal with. So they have like multiple ways to prevent the push from coming. Osiris may get a gank on Relic on top. There is a TP in.
There is a BKB up though on Relic. If he can get it off, he may be able to survive. No, they drop him like he's hot. And that's a dead puck. Nice gank from Osiris. And those Shadow Blades that I was questioning really coming in handy.
They create a ton of space though. Like with Relic down, they can't do anything for the next minute. And they're nowhere close to being able to push out a T2 though. So yeah, the Aegis is nice to deny them, but it's expected from PSST.
And what was that item that just got picked up?
Oh, there's no blink on the Nyx Assassin. I think he really needs a blink.
Yeah, it looks like he's working towards Force Staff with that Staff of Wizardry. Although I guess it could be a
Force
Dagon.
Staff is, I guess, decent, especially if they get hexes and with people keep constantly being caught out by a Dragon Knight stun.
Yeah. And Dragon Knight now has his BKB up. The Orchid is complete on Nature's Prophet. And like you mentioned, the Blink Dagger in the inventory of Earthshaker. They've kind of got those core items they need to start getting aggressive here. Of course, they want Naga's Radiance to start kicking in, but we'll even start to see a jump in that net worth chart. Right now, Naga's sitting very low on the chart, actually, in the 6th position, about 8.7k, and we will certainly see that shift over the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. So BKB's aplenty here, Merlini. 3 out onto the field so far. Puck, Dragon Knight, and the Gyrocopter have that magic immunity. Also, BOTs are up on the Timbersaw.
There's so much pressure out on PSST right now.
Oh, Finnith. This is going to be a free Aegis kill here. Wow, he even pops the BKB. Oh, that is a misplay. Dragon Knight does burn his as well, but oh no, they even burned the Echo Slam. They're ready for it. Gyrocopter falls, and actually the Timbersaw falls as well. He does commit suicide with the Bloodstone, but a death is a death. That was just poorly played by PSST.
That was
By
very
every
poorly
angle,
played.
really.
You could have BKB TP'd after the Aegis.
Is it ever good to use if you have an Aegis and a BKB, to use the Aegis or the BKB before the Aegis? Or
If you can get your full duration BKB off and do a ton of damage, yeah.
It's
But
also okay.
If he's at like 50% and his team's there, I think it's okay.
Yeah,
But
it seems almost better. And oh wow, Nature's Prophet picks off a solo Shadow Demon. I guess that's the power of the Orchid. Lets him grab solo kills on the squishy supports if he catches them.
Is under attack.
But yeah, it just seems like it's almost always better if you have the Aegis. Just save the BKB for when you pop back up.
like
Unless
almost all situations is better.
I guess it's
but
unless like you're the aggressor and you're already doing.
if you
a
have a
lot of
Satanic
damage.
too, it's okay too.
Right.
But most of the time, it's just safe to use it after.
Up top, last hit magic in trouble. Osiris using that Shadow Blade. In comes the AA ulti as well. Actually doesn't connect with the Timbersaw, but will connect with the Gyrocopter who ports in. Osiris in trouble. No BKB up for about 5 seconds. Turns with the Dragon Tail. He is a rather tanky presence. Eats some stick charges. Just needs to buy time for another couple seconds before he can Shadow Blade away. Is forced to burn that BKB charge, but well worth it as it does ensure his survival. Fortunately, not enough mana for the TP scroll, but does have a few stick charges and will make it out. They really need some detection to deal with these Shadow Blades. Those Shadow Blades have set up so many kills so far.
Yeah,
they just have no way to
need a
deal with
sheep
it.
on Relic, not the BKB. It's not a BKB's for team fights, and it's not for ganking. And they need to gank. They need to be able to kill the Dragon Knight. They need to be able to gank the Nature's Prophet so he can't split push and pick off people. And they need to be able to kill the Naga Siren when that point gets to, if it gets to that point in the game.
And I mentioned this earlier, but again, 14-9. PSST have some kills on the board. They're just not on the valuable targets. Dragon Knight is 5-0-2 right now. He's yet to go down. They've killed this Nature's Prophet a few times. Naga 1-0-4 as well. So those two really scary heroes have had very little pressure coming their way. Meanwhile, on the side of PSST, Gyrocopter is 0-4-2. I think that's one of the larger disparities in this match of just where the kills are. Where's the farm? And Osiris seemed to have the farm where it counts.
PSST, they need to gank more with Nyx Assassin and Timbersaw. Timbersaw's huge, but that's not what Timbersaw's good at. He's good at killing heroes, and with his pure damage, and so is Nyx.
Oh my gosh, that Echo Slam sets up the kill onto Shadow Demon. Earthshaker does pay with his life. The Song of the Siren comes in. BKB's pumped aplenty on the side of PSST. It ends up being a 1-for-1, but boy, was that an Echo for the ages. It's not over quite yet. Osiris now joining the battle. A 3-man Dream Coil comes out from Puck. He will phase shift, hop to his orb, blinks away, and does make the great escape. Last hit magic will poured out from the high ground. Sad that the follow-up wasn't there for Osiris.
Yeah, that was a very big ultimate, and they weren't able to kill him before the BKBs.
But Nature's Prophet does port forward, connects with an Orchid as well as a Sprout on Gyrocopter. And, well, that Orchid coming in handy, Merlini. When the BKB's on cooldown, it doesn't do much.
Yeah, and keep in mind that most of the time they're fighting without Naga. Naga Siren was there to sleep, but afterwards, I mean, it's just pretty much been a 45 for most of the game.
Hey, look at this Dragon Knight. He doesn't have a care in the world. BKB on. He is zoning out all 4 heroes of PSST, while the rest of his team just knocked down the Tier 2 tower. Nature's Prophet ports out, and they just Shadow Blade away. This Dragon Knight is really scary right now. He's got another 2.5k sitting in the bank.
It's so annoying playing against decent Dragon Knights and good Dragon Knights. He's like so difficult to kill. Like BKB, he has like a bajillion armor, and then he has this 8-second cooldown stun, 9-second cooldown stun that lasts forever. It's a pain in the butt, and he's like ganking better than the Nyx right now, way better than the Nyx, and he can actually apply split push pressure. So if you can get him to in a relatively easy lane and get away with him like this, then it's just an incredible hero.
You mean 5-0-2 at the 30-minute mark?
Yeah, and with a very early Shadow Blade BKB too, and he's very good against Puck too, because Puck just has to BKB or get a Lincolns in every one of these fights, because if he gets DK Sun once, he's dead.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we had this even gold graph that was back and forth. Osiris just jumping ahead, 7,500 gold lead, about a 3,000 experience lead as well. They're 3 primary farmers topping the net worth chart. Everything kind of going in their favor at this point. Nature's Prophet with just about 5k gold in the bank, so if he wants a sheep stick coming up, he'll be able to grab it before too long. And same story, different chapter for Naga. Went ahead and just grabbed some boots of travel. Now a Yasha to go with the Radiance, and the farming continues.
It's going to be very difficult for Osiris to lose this. Like, even if they just, like, take a couple of terrible fights, or they, like, get ganked with a couple of their important heroes, like a Nature's Prophet or Dragon Knight, PSST still doesn't even have a T1 down in mid. And, again, the Aegis isn't going to matter. OS gets a little bit of pressure in mid.
Ooh, he will throw an attack into the Spike Carapace. Out comes the Fissure. Nyx Assassin in big trouble. He falls. That's going to be the 6th kill for Dragon Knight. And it's not over yet. They want to pursue. Puck will orb back. And last take magic. Well, he wanders back to safety. So free kill on the Nyx.
Tower is under attack.
Wow. Dragon Knight. I imagine he's going to want to go for AC next. And, well, look at that. Hyperstone. Pretty standard on Dragon Knight.
Yeah, if they get this next Aegis to Osiris, they are in a very good position to close out this game, probably by like the 42, 43 minute mark.
Yeah. And Nature's Prophet now just about 6,000 gold. So he's just pulling it up. You don't collect interest, buddy. And Earthshaker, is that a 4? Probably going to be a 4 staff. He's got the Staff of Wizardry already in the bank. Not the bank, in the inventory.
PSST has to be so demoralized right now because their early game aggression and mid game aggression lineup has not worked out for them. They're behind in kills, which if they were up ahead in kills, they might still be behind. But if they're behind in kills, they're definitely behind. Yeah. So now they're in this position where like Nyx isn't very useful. Timbersaw has a lot of farm, but he's not as useful, and he can't deal with the Naga Saturn. Shadow Demon, it's good for.
Almost just died to the AA ulti right there. That was
all of them are almost dead.
A little close for comfort.
Yeah, he's going for a scepter too, but I mean he's not going to have a scepter for some time to come.
Yeah.
Naga's pushing at their T3s too. Like it's already up at their T3s.
Yeah. Wow. So that's the pressure the Radiance Naga can put on. Now has a Manta in tow. So the farm continuing to increase. Now, Gyrocopter's build is making me scratch my head a little bit. How do you like Manta on Gyro?
I've gotten it sometimes, but only when I need move speed. If I go to Phase Drums build or Shadow Blade sometimes, then it's useful. But if you're trying to man fight versus a Naga Siren, that is not the build. And if you're trying to split push out lanes, it's also not the build because Gyro isn't going to be able to out split push a Naga and Nature's Prophet.
The Radiance illusion, or the Radiance is just going to cut through those Manta illusions.
Or Echo.
Yeah, that even adds fuel to the fire with Echo.
Yeah, or just even Splash from Dragon Knight.
Yeah, Finith, my friend, I question your item choice there.
Finith is actually usually a mid player,
Oh, okay. I feel
but
like my camera is zoomed in extra. There we go. Just reset.
well, and again they are repelled by the A ultimate as well as Naga Siren Illusions. The Shadow Demon trying to be a little bit annoying with disrupting the Naga Siren Illusions for some radiances of his own, but it's just not enough. Relic already at less than half HP and in no position to fight.
So Roche is up right now, and it looks like Osiris could be interested in moving into the Roche pit. PSST are wary of it, and they position themselves on the high ground. Of course, Dire do have that advantage here with their secret shop.
PSST can't take Roshan. That's their big problem right now. They can't take Roshan, but they are very, very scared of Osiris taking Roshan. So they're kind of forced to huddle around the pit, but then they have to worry about the split push. If they go defend the split push, then Osiris takes Roshan.
Right.
So they're just caught in between a rock and a hard place.
And the HC is now up on Dragon Knight, so that will add some fuel to their fire. Naga has the Manta and another 2,000 sitting in the bank.
Yeah, like who do you even like focus at this point? Like
Yeah.
Dragon Knight's gonna rip their team apart too. Like let alone the Naga Siren, and as well as the Nature Prophet with the Scythe of Vice and an Orchid.
Yeah. Yeah. Mechanics question for you here, Merlini. We were talking about the Manta Illusions and kind of working in favor of Osiris, buffing up the potential damage from Echo Slam. Do they count as heroes or creeps in terms of the
believe
echoes?
they count as heroes. I'm not sure.
I believe so too. That was where I was leaning. Just
It was somewhat recently changed, but I believe they count as heroes.
yeah.
But I'm not positive on
Yeah.
that.
So obviously heroes give you a little bit of extra damage. All in all, not the biggest of deals, but yeah, Manta against Earthshaker is generally not your golden ticket. Double damage rune is up on Dragon Knight though. He is Shadow Bladed about the high ground, and this could be a good opening for Osiris.
This
to
could
move into
be
the Roche pit.
if PSST loses this fight, they will lose the game. So they have to win this fight.
All in. Their cards are on the table. They will do a 5-man smoke, still with the high ground advantage. There is a Treant there who is about to expire. Osiris playing this very cautiously though. They don't want to overcommit.
I mean, they're pushing at the T3. They don't have to. That's the thing. They have to. They can't defend against a split push and Roshan at the same time. And if they want to defend Roshan, they'll just split push him to death with Nature's Prophet.
Yep,
so
Nature's
it's
Prophet heading to the top. All they have to do is keep him busy.
Osiris. He gets caught out, but I don't. If they had a sheep, I could say they could burst him down. But if they don't have a sheep, I don't think they can burst him down in an impale.
Yeah, bursting down Dragon Knight is a little bit of an oxymoron, I think.
They have a ton of magical damage, and they have Whirling Death too. Whirling Death will just rip him apart. But if he gets BKB off,
Yeah.
at a reasonable HP amount, then. Yep. So Osiris trying to drag him around the map, and now that all of PSST is defending top, they're ping on Roshan, and here they go.
Yeah, this is just exactly what Osiris are looking for, playing ping pong with PSST. They know that they have to move as a 5-man unit. And they're just utilizing their team's strength right now. Diffusal now up on Naga. That'll make her a little bit more powerful. Roche at about half health as all 5 of PSST are inbound. Oh no, scratch that. 1 is back at the base. It is the Gyrocopter, actually. They do not want to fight without their Gyro. They find initiation on the Earthshaker, but he survives as he 4 stabs down. Down goes the Nyx Assassin to start off this fight. Now the Timbersaw, the target of choice. BKB used on the Dragon Knight. Defensive disruption comes out. Look at this Dragon Knight, man. He is just in the front lines. Not a care in the world. Down goes the Shadow Demon. Nature's Prophet does get picked off around the backside, but Gyrocopter will stand his ground. BKB up. In comes the Naga Siren, and they just right-click him down. Nature's Prophet buys back. He rejoins the fray. Compliments of that teleport. Relic getting very bold here. Does use the orb and a nice phase shift to survive. But
Overall, pretty good fight for PSST.
yeah.
They killed Naga Siren as well as Dragon Knight.
Oh, wow. How did
And
Naga end up falling? Oh,
She
the
just
Timbersaw.
tried to tank through Gyrocopter through her BKB, or through his BKB. I'm not exactly sure why, because that's not what a Radiance Naga does. And she should just keep spamming illusions. If illusions are down, you can just sleep. Or they could have just slept and focused Gyrocopter without having to worry about any of the teammates.
Yeah, Naga actually didn't ult there.
Yeah, she didn't
Interesting.
ult.
Radiant's middle tower is
So not the
under
best
attack.
team fight for Osiris. I mean, they didn't even use Echo Slam either, so they didn't use their full repertoire of abilities. As Earthshaker was the one that was initiated on. He was forced to use his 4-staff defensively to survive, and then never really had a good way to reinitiate with a big Echo.
I don't actually think that Nagasara needs a diffusal at this point. She just needs survivability. She's either a butterfly or a heart. Probably a heart, I think, is
Yeah.
better. I think, because the diffusal for damage, they don't really need damage. The Radiance just does enough damage as it is, and you're not going to do any damage when you're dead. And it doesn't do any damage versus BKB heroes.
So looking at the gold graph, Osiris still holding on to a very sizable gold lead of about 10,000, but look at the experience graph. What a dip from 5,000 down to about 1,000. PSST are doing okay in hero levels. They're hanging in there. Timbersaw is actually level 21. So he is tangoing with the top XP farmers in this game. But AA ult. Nope. Will not connect, but Relic in big trouble. They'll catch him with his orb down.
Nice.
And that's a dead pocket. Oh, the Shadow Demon gets sheeped as well. Down goes the Nyx Assassin. It's a triple kill coming out for Dragon Knight. Now Elastic Magic with a BKB on does survive, but an utter disaster for PSST while they had Finnith farming in the bottom lane.
Yeah, he was trying to defensively disrupt, and Guanzo just got there in the nick of time.
And no buybacks available, except for the Gyrocopter, who is still alive.
Screw Roshan, just going for the gold.
Yeah. Oh, Puck. Okay, pardon me. Puck bought back before I said. Oh.
You'll see some cheeky Naga stars, like at this exact point, they'll just like go over here and song and then just take 2 racks. But
that is cheeky.
It's very cheeky.
Yeah. So tier 3 tower in the mid falls, and the racks will go down as well. Tier 3 tower in the top takes heavy pressure, and it goes down. So that's a lane of racks, a tier 3 tower, or two three towers, I suppose. Obviously, needless to say, a very, very successful fight for Osiris, and maybe they'll overstay their welcome. Dragon Knight does take a stun. In comes the Earthshaker. They finish off the Nyx Assassin once again. It wasn't a dieback, but pretty much an instant death. Now Osiris himself will just BKB poured out as the Dream Coil was actually burned. There's the Naga song, la la la, and they all just port back to safety. Oh boy, all of a sudden things just looking so bad for PSST. Gold graph upwards of about 14,000.
Yeah, and that's the thing about BKB on Puck. It didn't save him at all at that fight because he does get stun locked to death. He needs to prevent the initial stun, which is what Lincoln's is useful for, or just more awareness around the map. But they have instant stuns with Shadow Blade, DK, and a fissure or like a Blink Echo and whatnot. So I can understand his position, but yeah, Puck is a decent hero, but just does not fare very well in against a DK matchup. They're going for a Roshan. This is the long shot, though.
Yep.
They have to do
that
this.
all-in Hail Mary. We've got nothing left. We might as well go for Roche. Of course, the AA ulti did scout it out, and they're going to commit to it. This is scary right here. Naga ultimate won't be up for another 9 seconds.
Finnith is locked in the pit by himself.
Oh, no. He's going to tango with the Dragon Knight. It does go down to the Radiant. Dragon Knight grabs the Aegis, and Finnith more than dead. But, oh, wow, actually, he survives much longer than I thought. He turns it around on the Dragon Knight. He'll pop back up, compliments of the Aegis. And Gyro, as well as Puck, will bite the bullet, and they do fall. Nyx Assassin will be able to bend it away.
No, he's a gem.
No. Oh, gem up on the Earthshaker. Unfortunately, just can't catch him. But there's the blink forward, and there's the fissure. Ooh,
that thing does so much damage now. It's ridiculous.
400%. Oh, and by the way, Nagasara going to finish off the Shadow Demon up top. They do grab a counter kill onto the Nature's Prophet, but Timbersaw not out of the clear quite yet. Pat Soul just having a field day as Osiris comes in. There's the Dragon Tail. They burn his mana.
This is over.
And it is over. That Gyrocopter, though, he survived a lot longer in the pit than I thought he would. I thought he was just going to get...
He has a lot of armor.
Yeah, he's got a lot of armor. He's got lifesteal and, yeah, 25 armor. Survived a lot longer than I gave him credit for, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out. Maybe if Gyro had been able to grab the Aegis there instead of Dragon Knight,
he was stunned.
Could have turned it, but yeah, of course they were ready for it. That would have made it a little more interesting, but
I think Guanzo played very well. The Nature's Prophet played very well in the first 10 minutes, and then Earthshaker too. Like those two probably MVPs, because if they can get past the early game like that, being up in kills 2-0 and having no deaths on the Nature's Prophet, then they're going into the mid game very well, and that's more than what you expect with a lineup like that.
Right. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. The other issue is that you just never pressured that Dragon Knight. Osiris ended 11, 1, and 6.
That's because their trialing just went to poop.
Yeah. It sure did go to poop. And it got flushed down the toilet by Osiris. I mean, they did a good job shutting down the Naga Siren initially, but luckily for Osiris, they had sort of a dual core going on with the Dragon Knight as well as the Naga. He carried them through the mid game. She got the later Radiance, and then all of a sudden, the Naga was online by the end of the game. That Naga was pretty scary.
Yeah, it was a well-constructed draft, and Naga Siren first pick is very unusual, but if you have the Nature's Prophet there to back it up, and which was their second pick, and then you fill in with very good heroes like Earthshaker and AA kind of on the same page, they're very good at anti-push. and they're good AoE, and then Dragon Knight 2, good split push and gank, especially with the Shadow Blades. So
Yeah.
I think their draft and their play was pretty good.
Yeah, and the double Shadow Blades, as we talked
And the
about,
Orchid workout
created
too.
a lot of split. Yeah, the Orchid. It was a little bit weird, but he made it work. He picked up a couple of solo kills with that Orchid. At least the Shadow Demon once, and maybe a few others after BKB. So, an interesting game. We've got one more best of one coming up today, guys, and it's probably the most hyped game is that new team, Team Dog. Gonna be
They
having
could have
their
found a better name.
Team,
Come on.
Team Dog. I don't know what the significance is, but we'll fire some shots when we get into the lobby of the next game. So we've got one more best of one coming up today. I'm Zyori. With me is Merlini. Thank you for joining us here. Not on the BTS stream today. It is Dota Starladder _EN, where we'll be doing our Starladder coverage for Season 9. I mentioned it earlier, and I'll reiterate here. There is no ticket available for this particular event. If you have the Starladder Season 8 ticket, that's how you access this in the client, and there will be a Starladder Season 9 ticket coming up later on.
These are still
as we move on.
preliminaries.
Yeah, these are still the preliminaries. We're not even into the thick of it yet, and already we're having exciting games. So don't go anywhere, guys. One more best of one on the way.